everybody, welcome back, and today, I'm angry. Hey everybody, welcome back, where today, I'm angry. You already know that, you watched the intro, you clicked on the video. I'm sure that angry or some variation of the word is in the title. Today I'm angry because, of course, I have signed up for the Las Vegas Pokemon Regional, and as you all know, I love every single Pokemon format until I have to make a serious team for a tournament, and then I hate it. So you know what? Today, we're going to talk about a bunch of Pokemon that in Regulation H that I have reasons to hate. I do not absolutely outright hate all of these Pokemon. You got to use some of them. You got to find ways to deal with some of them, and you know, that makes the pain a little bit less, but there is still pain. So basically, I scrolled through the list of every Pokemon that was legal in Reg H, and I added every single one that I had a reason to hate and that I wanted to do a little tiny rant about. There you go. Let's jump right into it. Maybe I will edit and remember to do this so you can't see what's coming up next. Maybe I won't. Who knows? First up, we have Rillaboom, and this is the Pokemon that sparked this video. Rillaboom makes me mad because it's so good. And that's not always a problem. There are some good Pokemon that we can accept are good. Rillaboom specifically makes me mad because I was trying to make a Discquake team, and the fact that Rillaboom is on just about every team, and the only way that you can feasibly really get rid of Grassy Surge on a Discquake team is to have another terrain, and that kind of just flies in the face of everything that you're trying to do with Discquake, because you have to switch another Pokemon in, and then you're not doing Discquake, then you're doing either just Dis or Discquake, because if you didn't know, and this actually isn't even listed on Pokemon Showdown, it doesn't even freaking say this part of grassy terrain, the power of a lot of ground spread type moves are actually halved on grassy terrain, and that includes Earthquake. So, Rillaboom's really good. It makes a lot of Pokemon worse by existing, right? A lot of water types wish Rillaboom wasn't around. Me, specifically, today, I hate Rillaboom because I feel like this Pokemon is too good for it to also have the power of Earthquake just by literally existing, on top of resisting Earthquake. So, literally, your Earthquake's bouncing off this guy, your Discharge's bouncing off this guy, your water types all hate him, I don't know, man, I'm trying to think of something else that's funny. I don't have one. Your frail Pokemon that don't want to get faked out, hate to see him coming. This Pokemon's good enough. We need to nerf Grassy Surge to take away the part where it halves the damage of Earthquake. I think it's too good because obviously we're probably going to have Rillaboom in just about every game till the end of time because it's a starter Pokemon. Everybody wants to have their starter Pokemon in every game. And they nerfed Grassy Glide, and obviously that wasn't enough. Rillaboom is still a menace, so they needed to nerf Grassy Surge to take away the halving effect from Earthquake. Next up, we have Sneasler. Now, I don't hate Sneasler necessarily for all the same reasons as everybody else, okay? Sneasler is on this list because, and it's not even for Dire Claw. Yes, I hate Dire Claw. I hate getting turn 1 Dire Claw slept or paralyzed or whatever. Para sucks. Sleep sucks. Everybody hates it. The reason that Sneasler is here is kind of for 3 reasons, okay? Number 1, a Pokemon this fast should not have Unburden unless it's going to suck, and obviously, Sneasler does not suck. Sneasler has very min-maxed stats, which makes Unburden a transgression against the Pokemon community. No. So it has Unburden, shouldn't have Unburden, I hate that. It also gets Throat Chop, which I hate because when you're playing in a GC or a best of 1 and you want any kind of Psy spam, you got to deal with Sneasler being Terra Dark Throat Chop, and there's really not a ton you can do about it. Because if you're Terra Fairy and they don't have Throat Chop, then you just get Dire Clawed, and that sucks. The last thing is that the most recent regional, okay, the most popular Sneasler set was Acrobatics, Close Combat, Swords Dance, and Protect. Why is that a problem? Well, you see, look at these moves. Look at these moves. I want you to look at them very carefully, okay? Ignore the Sneasler on the screen. Look at the moves very carefully. What Pokemon do you think would run this moveset? All of my singles friends have probably gotten it already. This is a Hawlucha. This is a Hawlucha in a Sneasler costume. And you know what? Hawlucha has Unburden. Hawlucha has almost the same speed stat, although it's slower than Sneasler. But Hawlucha has base 92 attack, and Sneasler has base 130 attack. So, literally, Sneasler is here, eating Hawlucha's lunch, and doing a better job of it. That pisses me off. Justice for, I know you're getting a Mega Evolution, but obviously the Mega Evolution can't have Unburden because you need to hold an item to Mega Evolve. And I don't know, maybe we should, maybe, you know, Hawlucha doesn't have to Terra to get Stab on Acrobatics. Maybe we could do this with Hawlucha. The fact is just, it has base 92 attack. So Hawlucha is also on this list because it makes me mad because, I don't, if it got like Tailwind or something, it would probably be really good. But it doesn't get Tailwind, and it has worse stats than Sneasler and a worse typing than Sneasler, I guess. There you go. Next up is Gholdengo. And here's the thing, okay? This is the reason the Sneasler wants to run Throat Chop, because Gholdengo, if you didn't know, is the only Pokemon in the entirety, well, I guess it's not the only Pokemon, okay? Like, pure poison types, I guess, they resist both of Sneasler's stabs, right? But Gholdengo is the only Pokemon that resists both of Sneasler's stabs and Expanding Force. And, you know, Sneasler comes with Expanding Force a lot of the time. It's mad because it makes me mad because it's the only one, and we should have Aegislash. Aegislash should be in the game, and I'm mad that we have Gholdengo instead. You know why they didn't give us Aegislash? Because they knew if they gave us Aegislash, we wouldn't be using Gholdengo, because Aegislash is like 10 times cooler, and its stats are higher, I think. Actually, I don't know. Let's see. Aegislash. Let's see. Yes, its stats are higher, damn it. It's got more utility, its stats are higher. It has like a gimmick that's really cool. Stance Change is a fun thing. It's a much better gimmick than, oh, I'm made of gold. I can not be hit by status moves, I guess. There's almost no downsides to not being able to be hit by status moves. There's very few exceptions, like you can't decorate yourself, you can't click Helping Hand, I guess. That's really the only two downsides. We should have been Aegislash. We should have had Aegislash. We should have at least had Aegislash also. I would love to use Aegislash right now. Next up is Ursaluna Blood Moon for one reason and one reason only. A Pokemon this strong should not be allowed in Regulation H. This Pokemon hits way too goddamn hard for us to be allowing it in Regulation H. I know that regular Ursaluna hits just as hard with Facade, basically, but I don't know, man. Blood Moon... Look, man, okay, Blood Moon is the same attack as Tinkaton's signature move, Gigaton Hammer, except it's normal type and it's special. And you could give the justification, oh, Blood Moon doesn't hit anything for weakness. Blood Moon, things are immune to Blood Moon. No, nothing's immune to Blood Moon because Mind's Eye says that nothing is immune to Blood Moon. Tinkaton, okay, we're going to pull up Tinkaton here, hold on. Tinkaton has base 75 attack because Gigaton Hammer is too good of a move. And on top of that, Gigaton Hammer has the same effect as Blood Moon. It can't be used 2 turns in a row. Alright? Why is Ursaluna Blood Moon just out here being allowed to drop Blood Moon all willy-nilly? Why are we doing this? Why are we allowing this? Why do they say you have to deal with this for however many years? You have Ursaluna Blood Moon, like 3 or 4, and then, you know, forever for the rest of time, every time Ursaluna shows up in a game? This is dumb. I can handle, like, the Hyper Voice still hits too hard with the Life Orb. I can deal with that. That's fine. You know, it's Hyper Voice. Blood Moon is this is a Hyper Beam. This is a Hyper Beam that you get to click with basically no drawback, and that's really stupid. And if it hits a Protect, you can still use it the next turn. What's up with that? All of the moves that are like 2-turn moves with like a charge, like a cooldown, they shouldn't work the next turn if you hit a Protect. You still use the move. It just hit a Protect. I don't understand the logic there. I'm getting too heated. All right, Dragonite. Dragonite's here. It's not because of Scale Shot missing or whatever. Like, that sucks. Scale Shot is like a weird move and it sucks for all of its own reasons. No, Dragonite is here because multiscale Dragonite just pisses me off. I want it to die, and I want it to die in like an attack. I don't want to have to click Final Gambit into it to kill it in one attack. I wish I could just hit it with the Blizzard and it would die, but unfortunately because of multiscale, it just lives 4 times effective ice attacks because Dragonite's built different, I guess, because it has more than one scale on its body, I guess. The Dragonite's just here because multiscale's annoying and it's really bulky, and, you know, there you go. Alright, I put Kilowattrel here. This is really stupid. It's because of the Discquake thing. Why does Kilowattrel just suck? Like, this Pokemon's fine. This is a fine Pokemon in just about every sense of the word. It's got a really good speed stat. It gets Tailwind. It gets competitive. It has Wind Power, which is like a cool new ability. In a lot of like formats, you can get away with running this like as a weird little mon, right? In Regulation H, for whatever reason, it does show up. People use it. It like is fine. But man, Discharge from Kilowattrel doesn't do jack shit. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I was using it, and the discharges were not giving. The dis part of my Disquake was not pulling its weight. That's the only reason Kilowattrel was here. It was great on the Explosion Alolan Golem team, but for the Disquake stuff I'm trying, I don't know. It's just not giving. It's not bringing me joy. All right, Annihilape is here, and Annihilape is here not alone. Annihilape is here with Maushold, and there's really only one reason. All right, look. First of all, I hate that Annihilape gained HP by dying. There is not a single other Pokemon in the entire history of Pokemon that gains HP by dying. There are other ghost types that evolve and gain HP. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but those are all like Driftblim, it's an inanimate object, or like, you know, stuff like that. Annihilape is the only Pokemon that dies and gains the ghost typing and gets more HP for some reason. The whole gimmick of ghost types is that ghost types have low HP amounts because they're dead. That makes sense logically. Why in the world does Annihilape gain a whole heap of HP by dying, and then they let it keep Final Gambit? They could have just removed Final Gambit from that whole evolution line this generation, but that's beside the point. Okay, look, Annihilape gains HP by dying. That's stupid. At least it doesn't keep Anger Point, because honestly, Annihilape would probably be better at the Primeape Anger Point strats than Primeape is. But I love Primeape, so I'm glad I get to use Primeape instead. Here's the thing that's annoying, okay? Annihilape and Maushold both have two very distinct iterations, okay? There is the Scarf Annihilape set, and there's every other Annihilape set. And, you know, those have kind of been blurring. People have been running like Sash Ape, that still has Final Gambit, or like Safety Goggles Ape, that's still just like max speed Final Gambit. I've seen that a little bit. Because Regulation H, you know, there's a lot of Pokemon that are slower. You can get away with just running the random Final Gambit. That doesn't bother me as much because people are really only doing that at tournaments. You don't see it on the ladder all that often. But the thing about Maushold and Annihilape is that they each have two very distinct variations. There's the Scarf Annihilape, there's every other Annihilape, and then there's Friend Guard Maushold, who is just support, and then there's Maushold, who wants to click Population Bomb. Sometimes the Friend Guard Mausholds run Population Bomb, but usually they are mutually exclusive. Usually, you run like Super Fang or something, right? Here's the thing. Because each of these Pokemon have two distinct forms, and because these Pokemon like to be run next to each other in a specific form, it's very easy and very common that you will run into somebody who thinks they're funny, and they'll run Scarf Ape next to Population Bomb Maushold, and they'll either click Coaching, and they'll get like a super strong Population Bomb off, or they'll just click Final Gambit and then Population Bomb will KO your other thing and you won't get to set up Trick Room, because I was trying to test a hard Trick Room team and that kept happening to me. Pissed me off. It kept happening to me. I hate building teams for tournaments, actually, I think. The only time I haven't hated it is when I brought Poliwhirl, because, I don't know, it was just the best team I tested. But here we are. So, testing on the best of one ladder is like playing in a global challenge, okay? Everything is best of one, you don't know team sheets. And I play on the best of one ladder a lot because I play at work, I play in situations where I don't really have time to sit down and play a whole best of three. So I play a lot on the best of one ladder. A lot of the time, playing a best of three is a lot like playing three best of ones. It's not all that crazy all the time. Except when there's a grand challenge coming. Because when there's a grand challenge coming, global challenge coming, everybody just starts playing the most off-the-wall, asinine shit you have ever seen on the best of one Pokemon Showdown ladder, and then you get to the Grand Challenge, and it's worse somehow. I don't understand how it could be worse than the stuff that I see, and this is just kind of like an example of that issue. Okay, you see Annihilape together with Maushold, right? You see them together, and you think, oh, they're gonna just do, like, you know, follow me, buck up the Annihilape stuff, right? No, I have been conditioned by the best of one ladder to think this is a fake mouse ape and I need to do something about Final Gambit. And because I have been conditioned to think that way, when it is regular mouse ape, I get mad for being stupid and not just thinking it was regular mouse ape. God, if that isn't just the longest rant that's going to be in this video, I don't know what is. That was a lot of things that I just said. Let's move on, please. Next up, we have Dondozo. Now, I can be mad about Dondozo for existing because it's Dondozo, right? Dondozo is very annoying. Playing against the goddamn stall, defense-boosting Tetsugiri, Dozo sets with leftovers suck, and I hate it, okay? But that is not the reason that Dondozo is on this list. That makes my blood boil, but I feel like I've talked about it enough. No, the reason that Dondozo is on this list is because I am constantly catching Dondozo's strays. What does that mean? Let me tell you what that means. Because Dondozo exists, and because Dondozo is a good Pokemon, people have to run a Dondozo counter on their team. And a lot of the time, that is Haze Dragonite. I'm not going to scroll all the way back to Dragonite. I don't feel like it. And sometimes it's Haze other things. Sometimes it's like Clear Smog. But usually it's Haze stuff, right? Haze Murkrow, Haze Palafin, Haze Primarina, Haze Dragonite. Because Dondozo is so good, a lot of teams will just have a random Hazemon because they don't want to deal with Dondozo, and I get it, okay? I understand. But I don't want to have to deal with the fallout of people running Dondozo when I'm trying to run some other stupid setup Pokemon like Colossal. Obviously, I know I can't bring Colossal to a tournament. It's probably really bad, but I like playing Colossal. So I make the Colossal team anyway. And I get it all set up, and I get the Flamigo on the field, and my opponent just clicks Haze, and I cry! Every time! Too bad that we already know Dondozo is going to be in Pokemon Champions. It was in the trailer. So I will be dealing with Dondozo's strays for at least like another 5 years. And, you know, that makes me a little sad. Alright, next up we have Garganacl. Garganacl, we are mad at Garganacl for stall stuff, obviously. Stall always sucks to play against. Occasionally I will play a stall team, but only if it is to serve the purpose of something funny. Garganacl is just annoying, okay? This is a Pokemon that is so hard to KO that it is able to run Moringa Berry. And let me tell you, I can almost guarantee... I knew what this berry did before it won the regional. I can almost guarantee you most people do not know what this berry does before it won the regional. Before Pengy, I can't remember what his name is right now. Before Pengy VGC used Moringa Berry Garganacl, I can guarantee you nobody knew what this goddamn berry did. Garganacl is a Pokemon that is so hard to KO in one hit that it can afford to run Moringa Berry and then heal off because it gets Recover for some ungodly reason. This pillar of salt is a monument, and not only is it a monument, it is a monument to the stupidity of the Pokemon Company because they gave this motherfucker Recover. Oh, I'm getting too heated. I'm so sorry. Okay, Moringa Berry. If you get hit by a special attack, you get +1 special defense. That sounds god-awful. If you could give this berry to any random Pokemon, you just wouldn't. You would almost rather run no item. This is so bad. So few times will it activate on most Pokemon. But Garganacl just eats the attack, goes down, you know, even if it takes like 75%, who cares? It clicks Recover, it heals back up, and now it's even harder to KO. And on top of that, you have Salt Cure. Salt Cure comes in, and they're like, oh yeah, this is almost like one of those trapping moves that deals damage, except it's not. It doesn't trap you, but in exchange for not trapping you, it persists even if Garganacl leaves the field. And honestly, I low-key kind of hope it gets nerfed because I don't want to have to deal with it anymore. It should go away if Garganacl leaves the field. Don't at me. Alright, we have Grimmsnarl on this list. I always hate Grimmsnarl. It looks sweaty. I almost learned to love it in Sword and Shield, but Scarlet and Violet has come around and I have learned to hate it once again because, same reason I would hate it in any other format, it's just annoying. Prankster T-Wave sucks ass. Everybody hates Prankster T-Wave. People just run it. People run it and they go, yeah, I hate Prankster T-Wave, but I'm running it. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you choosing to subject everybody to something that you hate? Why are we here? Alright? Prankster T-Wave wasn't nearly as bad in Sword and Shield because usually it was like Trick Lagging Tail or something, right? I'm not really sure why. T-Wave does effectively the same thing. Maybe people just didn't want to miss, and it was like... Grimmsnarl was a little bit more ubiquitous in Scarlet and Violet, but I don't know. For whatever reason, it didn't feel as... Or, I'm sorry, in Sword and Shield. It didn't feel as bad. Now, Prankster T-Wave makes me mad. Prankster T-Wave pisses me off so bad. And, like, you know, the move Thunder Wave makes me so angry to the point that when I play, like, random double battles, every time, like, my opponent just gets a bunch of mons where they have nothing better to do but click T-Wave, I have to message my opponent about it. I have to just be like, hey, there's way too many mons that get T-Wave at random doubles, right? And they agree with me every time. They agree with me every time. Pokemon Showdown. Take all the T-Wave sets out of random double battles. God damn it. But Grimmsnarl's basically here just because, like, screens, like, Prankster T-Wave is annoying and I hate it. And this is the I was going to say the Prankster child. This is the poster child for Prankster T-Wave. Every Prankster T-Wave mon should just lose T-Wave. Maybe we can have one that has it, right? We can have one cute little mon, like, I don't know, man, like Klefki. Cute little mon like Klefki that's to have Prankster T-Wave. Sure, yeah, fine. We should not be giving T-Wave to literally every single Prankster mon. Like, I'm sure there are some exceptions, but it feels like almost every Prankstermon learns T-Wave, and I hate it. I feel like it's stupid. I feel like the Pokemon Company needs to screw their head on right. Next up is Krookodile, and this is because of the Discquake stuff. It makes me angry that Krookodile is worse than Garchomp in basically every way. It has a different typing, yes. It gets knockoff, yes. It can do stuff that dark types do. But I was trying to run Moxie Krookodile on my Discquake team because I thought, you know what? These are comparable stats to Garchomp. We can probably get away with it. No, apparently they are not comparable stats to Garchomp. Apparently, Krookodile doesn't hit just enough, not as hard as Garchomp, and it's just enough, not as fast as Garchomp. And you know what? Even on top of that, it's just enough, not as bulky as Garchomp to be bad. Maybe you can make an Intimidate set work, but I was just trying to use Moxie. Obviously, Anger Point, you can do funny stuff with Anger Point, but I don't know. It's just here because I was trying to use it today, and it made me mad. Palafin. Palafin is here because I think it should be better, and every time I try to use it, it feels bad, because you know what? For some reason, having to switch it out feels bad. It feels like you have to lead it to every game, and that never feels good. You don't want to have a mon that you have to lead every single game. Yes, I play a lot of teams like that, like Colossal and stuff, and, like, obviously you have to lead Colossal, like, 99% of the time. Doesn't feel as bad to me because you get the funny setup, you do the stuff. Palafin has to leave the field. You have to lead it and then leave the field, which is like that is a very telegraphed play to your opponent they can take advantage of. Colossal, you get to make an offensive play by leading it, and that it just doesn't feel as bad to me. So I don't know. I feel like Palafin should be good. I feel like it should be like a powerhouse. This mon has crazy base stats after you get it set up, but getting it set up has just been too big of a cost. Why would you set up Palafin when you could just put Basculegion on the field? Or people, even in Reg C, before we had Basculegion, people were running Gyarados. People were running Support Intimidate Gyarados instead of Palafin. People were running Choice Band Azumarill, right? Like, I don't know. I just feel like Palafin should be better. I feel like we need somebody to come along and crack Palafin open so we can all start using Palafin again. I like him. I like the Superman Dolphin. Alright, Whimsicott is here. Whimsicott is here for one reason. It's because I just want to be safe to click Protect sometimes. We are in a format that doesn't have Urshifu. I should be safe to click Protect, but no, we're not allowed to be safe to click Protect. And look, Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales is also guilty of this now because, oh, you click Protect? Too bad, homie. Click it again. Forever. Whimsicott, Alolan Ninetales, they're both here to tell you that you have to click Protect forever. And you know what? I'm not okay with that. I don't like that. Stop bullying me, okay? Tired. I don't want it anymore. I just want to click Protect. And, like, when it's not on so many teams, like, this is a thing that I can just be like, oh, they got me, you know, like, I should have seen this coming. But it's on so many teams. Like, if I'm in a situation where I, like, legitimately can't do anything better than Protect, and I get punished by Encore, it makes me feel like shit. It makes me feel so bad. Like, man, I should have known better, but what else could I have done? You know what I mean? Yeah. Alolan Ninetales and Whimsicott are both guilty of this, so they both get to be here on the list. And the last Pokemon we're going to talk about today is Hisuian Zoroark. And Hisuian Zoroark, obviously, it can be frustrating in, like, best-of-1 situations because they'll lead the Zoroark and you'll make the wrong play, right? But Hisuian Zoroark, I think it specifically makes me mad because people feel like they're being really clever when they run Hisuian Zoroark. And this is going to sound terrible. If this describes you, I'm so sorry. But people run Hisuian Zoroark, And like some people run it because, yeah, this is a really edgy mon. I love it. That's fine. Sure, be an edgelord. I don't care. Some people run it because they think they're being really clever and they're just gonna like put one over on a bunch of people all the time. And that's all they want. All they want is to trick somebody. And so they run it and it makes them feel smart. It makes them feel like, I got one over you. Haha. Like, take that. And I think that's why Hisuian Zoroark makes me mad, because you're like actively trying to find joy in my suffering. And I know that I do this sometimes. Sometimes this is the nature of Pokemon battles, but Hisuian Zoroark isn't even like a clever strategy. It's, I led this Pokemon and it looked like something else. Oh, I gotcha! April Fools! You know, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just makes me upset when I see it. And then I don't like fall for it all the time. But I'll click a move and I'll be like, or they'll like move faster than I was expecting them to go, and I'll be like, huh, that's weird. Is it Scarf? And then it's Hisuian Zoroark, and I'm like, oh, doy. That's why it clicked Hyper Voice. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that one doesn't need to be on here, but it does make me mad every once in a while, so I threw it on here. You know what I mean? What Pokemon in Regulation H make you upset? What are the Pokemon that make your blood boil? Let me know down in the comments. Please, 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 please comment on this video, like this video, push it to all the people. We are struggling right now to get views, and it's not really because of impressions. It's because people just don't want to click on my videos. So you know what? What if we get so many impressions that it doesn't matter how many people click on the video? Let's do our best. But with that, everyone, my name's Andrew. I'll catch you guys next time. Once upon a time, man, I heard that I was struggling. Came from a gen where power creep wasn't coming in. Face long, stats tight, defense up, shack height. Sturdy on me, sash like, got the TM last night. Hit me with that good move, make this mount act right. Bast boys, better hit that builder. I know that's right. Big Bast busting out these body presses, bout to buy a body bag and